Hello, everybody, and welcome to Silent Podcast, the place where everything but silent. Like usual, I'm back to talk about Big Brother 24. Yes, we are back after a very crazy double eviction episode. I'm here with my co-host, as usual, Katie, to break this crazy episode down. The first half, not so much. The second half, very much. Katie, how are you doing today?
I am good. I have a lot to say about Michael being gone, about the speech, about the walkout, about Brittany, about all of it. I'm excited. This was like a good. We took a week off last week. We missed all the fray of Kyle, and now here
Oh
we are to talk
boy.
about the fun stuff. Yeah,
I can't believe we got to miss the opportunity to talk
I
about
know.
Kyle,
How upsetting for us. We'll talk about
But
him a
yeah.
little tonight. We got the jury segment.
Oh yeah, exactly. So, we might as well just hop into it because like
Yeah.
I said, we have 2 weeks of Big Brother to catch up on. We did not get to talk about it last week, but we're here now to talk about it. So let's get started. Last week, Kyle has been evicted. We watched this whole thing break down. We already discussed it during the last ranking
Yeah.
about Michael and Brittany basically breaking down the entire situation
Mm-hmm.
going on about the racism and all that stuff. And we finally got to see Kyle leave. Um, First of all, Katie, how do you feel about Kyle's eviction? And how do you feel about his question segment with Julie Chen?
Well, I didn't expect anything more from Julie Chen, first of all. Like, we knew he was getting a softball just based on the edit. I feel, and the fact that the feeds were down anytime the conversation came up, like, we knew they didn't want to see what really happened because we knew they wanted to edit it in a favorable way for him. So that was a given. But I think, his eviction, I think I'm glad he's gone. I'm not happy with Michael and Brittany for the way that they took part in all of this and kept this information that is bigger than the game and used it for the game. I think, everybody in the house also feels very similarly. It seems like still, even in the jury, it felt like they felt that way last night when they found out really what happened. I think Michael's probably going to have to answer a lot of questions. I think so is Brittany. We last time we spoke, I think it was like the day before the nominations had already happened and they were talking about doing this, but we didn't actually see them do it yet. And the week on the feeds was rough. It was rough to watch. We saw a lot of hurt taking place in these people that were in the house. And it's just like Michael and Brittany used that just to further themselves in the game, not thinking about the repercussions that it was going to have on everybody else, on Monty and Terrence and Taylor, who are people they're supposed to care about. And it's pretty rough. I hope they learn from that. I loved in the jury segment last night, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but Indy finally said what I've been screaming at my computer and my TV about for weeks. Like, you have the fucking internet. Use the internet. There's no excuse. This is a grown ass man. He's going to be 30 years old. Like, there's no excuse. And I'm just so glad someone finally said it and said it to his face. So, good riddance, Kyle. Hope to never see you again. I mean, we will at finale, but hope to never see you again after that.
We'll see him on TikTok twerking.
No, well, you might. Not me.
um but yeah, I don't even want to dedicate like a whole lot of time of this podcast
Mm-hmm.
to Kyle, but Kyle's gone, and you know what, that was okay with me. I'm not upset about it. But moving on to the next week, we actually just saw a very crazy scenario happen. So we just watched Michael win HOH. um
Yep.
they did not know it was going to be a double eviction, and he
Nope.
nominates Terrence and Alyssa. Ultimately, now, first of all, Alyssa, Terrence. This is your opportunity, in my opinion, for oh my god, I gotta get my words go. This was Michael's opinion, in my opinion, to really take a shot at Turner or Monty, or I mean, I don't think he really wanted to bring her, but like even like a Taylor or something, like someone who's
Mm-hmm.
really going to be a threat for you within jury. But I feel like he really tried to play the middle. I feel like he put a lot of stock in everything that he did during the Kyle move, and due to this, he tried to play safe. But in my opinion, it's way too late to be wanting to play safe. I think Terrence and Alyssa are such waste of nominations, and
Yeah.
ultimately, I mean, we're going to talk about it during the double portion of it. But my God, what a missed opportunity! They got him before he got to get them, and I know he's probably like upset and bitter, and you walked out and all that stuff. But it's like, bro, you did it to yourself. With all the
Yep.
competitions, all the vetoes you've held, the HOHs you've held, you had a chance to do something. And who's he really responsible for taking out with his HOH? So he's taking out Terrence. Who else did he take out?
Jasmine. And then I don't remember. the first person that he evicted, but I don't think it was
Was
anybody.
it Pooch?
No, that was Jasmine.
Amira?
That was Turner. Who's after that? Was it
Nicole?
Daniel?
Nicole or
No, Daniel
Daniel?
was Monty. Nicole. Yeah. No, Nicole was Monty. He was Daniel, I guess. He took out
Someone.
Daniel. I think he took out
But
Daniel.
it's just like just hearing Jasmine and Terrence, those like that's not a good resume. That's not really an interesting resume at this point in the game. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. And there's a lot of people all over Twitter and all over the internet crying about this guy leaving. And like, he did it to himself. He painted himself into a corner where early on he won a ton of competitions. I understand he was on the block week one, right? He won that veto. That was great. There were so many other competitions that he won that he didn't have to win. And it painted, he took out the paint, he took out the paintbrush, and he just painted this one big red target all over himself. And he had a number of opportunities. His first HOH, he thought about taking out Monty and taking a shot. He didn't do it. His second HOH, he thought about taking a shot, taking out Monty. He didn't do it. And that really would have been the time, I think, to make the move because Terrence was making the move outside and taking out Joseph. So he should have made the move and taken out Monty on the inside. Didn't do it. Then this time, he knew he was the backdoor target the week before with Terrence. And then he threw a Hail Mary and pulled out Kyle's racism. And he really forced Turner's hand into evicting Kyle because of obviously like what's Turner going to do? Not send him home after finding out that information. Promise him safety the next week if he did it, but like Turner didn't play in the veto. Terrence, for whatever reason, didn't pick him to play in the veto. This is the perfect opportunity to get him out. And once again, Michael didn't do it. So it's like you won all these competitions. You made yourself look like the biggest threat in the house because you were. And then you had every opportunity granted to you to take out two players that were gunning for you and you knew it and you didn't do it. And then you like you try and play the middle, but you're also winning every comp. So it's like you really can't play the middle. Like the leftovers were over the second that the house split up. There's everybody, the house was totally fluid. He had every opportunity to do it. He didn't do it. And it's really his own fault.
And I mean, to top us off, shout out to the Big Brother Twitter community because I was so irritated with this. So the people were people were making comparisons of this season's to the last season of Big Brother Canada. I believe it was 11. Yeah, Big Brother Canada 11.
10.
10. My God, Big Brother Canada 10.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to like link every single player with someone from that season. I saw it's not just one person; it was a whole lot of people
all over the place.
But how dare y'all compare Michael to Kevin Jacobs? To Kevin.
The comparison is unrealistic because Kevin won one veto. Michael won 9 comps. Like, how are they even comparable in the least bit?
Yeah. I think, like, the only thing that's comparable is that they're both super fans and they wear glasses. But it's like Michael and Kevin are two different things. I think Michael is a comp beast and thinks that he's smarter than he is, but he's not. And I think Kevin is basically what Michael wanted to be. Michael wanted to play the middle. Kevin successfully played the middle the entire season, and that's why he completely dominated and became, in my opinion, one of the better Big Brother winners in general.
1,000%.
So it's like, I don't know. I thought it was blasphemous that people were making these comparisons, but it was nowhere close.
Nowhere.
Yeah, God.
I was just going to say that Kevin operated in the chaos and he had influence over every person in the house. Michael had basically no influence other than the fact that he was winning competition, so people had to do what he wanted. That they're totally different players. Totally different players.
Yeah, y'all out of pocket. But I just had to call that out because when I was on Twitter and I saw this blasphemy, I'm like, listen, I'm done. I'm about to mute the hashtag. I'm tired of y'all. So just to talk about the double though, the second half, I want to see, how did you feel on all the events that happened? Tell me what's your opinions on it, Katie.
I was panicking when the HOH comp was happening because I thought that we had a really good chance of losing Taylor if Turner won HOH. But Taylor's influence, she got the guys. The guys were going to stick with the final 3 that they had of this gentleman's agreement, and Taylor got in Monty's ear and just made it happen. So credit to her for that. But I was nervous. I didn't know what Turner was going to do, and it looked like Turner did not want to do what he did. But Monty really came through. He won the veto. I was really rooting for Taylor to win the veto, but of course she didn't. This was a whirlwind. I just feel like, when's the last time we went into a double eviction not really knowing what was going to happen? I think the most exciting double eviction lately. I mean, we had Brett in Big Brother 20. That was pretty funny. But we also had in Big Brother All Stars, we almost got Franzel out, but Enzo didn't come through. Almost, but Enzo wouldn't do it. So we almost had a good move from Tyler, but Enzo wouldn't pull the plug. So this one was really exciting. I mean, we really had no clue what was going to happen. And Michael's speech was incredible. I mean, if I'm the girls, I probably would have been like, should we keep Mike? I mean, like, he's right. We need him to take these guys out. Otherwise, they're going to steamroll. Lo and behold, Monty is our HOH, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, it was great. His exit was great. It was just an exciting hour. We went from a really unexciting hour, other than the jury segment, to a really exciting hour once the double started.
Usually in modern day Big Brother, the first half of the double is like the semi exciting portion where it's
Right.
like, oh, like we're hyping up, and usually the nominations are more exciting. For a perfect example, Amanda BB15 going in the way she did, and then the second half is usually the boring half as of lately. But this time we got a reverse. We got the boring one out first, but
Mm-hmm.
then we were like, oh shoot, like this is about to go down, so it was
Mm-hmm.
really fun to watch. I'm really curious, what do you think what do you think went wrong here? Like Michael definitely took a very interesting approach, exposing Brittany last second. Kind of interesting. I wonder if this played a role in their decision, because I'm starting to see patterns with Michael's game. I'm starting to see him wait till the very last second where
Yep.
shit hits the fan, and then he exposes things. He did that with Kyle. He
Mm-hmm.
tried to do it with Brittany. And honest to God, like, oh my God, if he survived that, he probably would have had one of the worst juries against him in
Oh
history. Like,
yeah.
if you want to compare him to someone, compare him to Josh from Big Brother Candidate, because my God, like it was not looking good there.
Yeah. No.
Um, but how did you feel about his exit and everything in general?
I loved every second of his speech. I loved every second of him walking out. I thought it was great. What I didn't love was him trying to say to Turner, like, we're both LGBTQ and I wouldn't put you up. Like, that's some bullshit. And I just feel like that's the second time now. What first he's using race, now he's using sexuality to pull something to keep himself in the game, and that I don't like. I think both times he's crossed the line. We don't need to go there. The first time it worked out for him, the second time obviously it didn't. So I just didn't love that. Like, we don't need to pull those cards out every time like something starts going wrong for you. Maybe you just shouldn't have won so many comps and taken a shot when you could have, instead of having to pull out these like random things out of left field that have nothing to do with the game of Big Brother. So that I didn't love, but I do. The speech was great. My favorite part was just watching Brittany's reaction to the whole thing. She had no idea. She was totally blindsided. He threw her right under Terrence's bus, and DJ Showtime just kept driving over her, and it was pretty great. And then his exit was pretty hilarious, because I was like, wait, does he really want to say something? I mean, I think they all probably felt that way. And then just going up to Julie, he's just like, yeah, they made the right move. So it was good. I think eventually he was like, a pretty good sport about it, but he did go down fighting till the end. Just would have liked to have seen a little more fight from him. I also thought Taylor was going to win the veto. I was really rooting for her, but Monty pulled through, and I'm surprised that Monty won that comp.
I'm curious. How do you feel about what Seth Ron said in the chat? He says, "I feel like Taylor wanted to vote to keep Michael after the speech. If she went second in the voting, I wonder what happens. But if Alyssa went before
Mm-hmm.
her, I think this signal her to vote the hallway. So, what do you think?"
I think Taylor would have stuck to her guns, because she really influenced the vote, and she was in Monty's ear about taking a shot on Michael. So I think if she didn't vote to evict Michael and set the stage, it would have just been a terrible decision for her to do that. So I think she was really firm and like, yeah, he's my friend, but he's going to win this game and he has to go. I think she really had a realization, it seemed like last week, because Brittany was just exposed, and it seemed like something clicked for her, and she's like, all right, this is what we have to do, and it's going to happen. Whereas before, it really felt like she's like, yeah, I know they did all this stuff, but like they're the only people that were really there for me. And it feels like now she's really standing in her, standing firm and just saying like, nope, this is what has to happen. I want to win $750,000. So love to see it from her.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to see how this end game ends. There's a whole lot of opportunity right now. I think it's wide open. I'm not going to lie. I do think it's going towards a certain direction, but we're going to see what happens. Let's talk about our ranking list, Katie. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So, real quick, like I said, we skipped last week. I'm gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
edit a little bit of this real quick. So, goodbye, you. Goodbye. So I mean, yeah, who else just got eliminated? Oh yeah,
Terrence,
Terrence is
and
gone.
then Michael.
Michael,
Final
huge shock
five.
there. Final five. Um,
But this was a
I'm,
brutal ranking the last time we ranked them, by the way.
it was well deserved. It was well deserved though. It was well
Yeah, it really was.
deserved.
How far we've come.
So I mean, I guess we could start off with Monty. I guess he's at the top
Yeah.
of C. How do you feel about Monty's game, Katie?
I think Monty is a favorite probably to win this game. I think he's in a really good spot. I don't think anyone's going to target him to start with. I think the target's going to be, well, it depends, but I do think Turner is probably in a worse spot than Monty. I think I would probably move him up to B. I don't think anybody deserves to be an A. None of these people are good game players, by the way. I mean, it's just everything's shaking out how it's shaking out, but I'm including Michael in that statement. No one in this house this season has been like a phenomenal game player whatsoever. But I do think that Monty's probably at the top of the pile right now, just because I think he has a really good chance to. He won HOH. He has a really good chance to maybe win veto tomorrow. He has a good chance to win next week's, well, not next week's HOH, but next week's veto in the final four, which would put him in a really powerful position. So I think that he's definitely going to make it, unless something happens where like Brittany wins HOH next week and then Taylor wins veto. Like I'm pretty sure Michael's going to at least make final. I mean, Monty's at least going to make final three. I think if anybody goes, it's going to be Turner. So I think Monty's in a really good spot, and I think he has a really good chance to win this game.
You know, when I did my drafts this year, I was like, I think this guy can win. And you know what? I'm counting back on that train. I wasn't on that train for a while,
Yep.
but I'm back on it. And there's a huge reason why, and her name is Brittany. I thought maybe Brittany would come to her senses and like, hey, let's just get the girls together and let's have a final three of all girls. You know,
Well, she
like
did that.
obviously these two guys, they're definitely close. We've watched them multiple times have these kind of close call moves and everything. And I was like, you know what? She's going to work with Alyssa and Taylor. She's not dumb. I was wrong. She has already ratted out that she had an alliance with these two girls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I don't know what Brittany's plan is. I'm very curious to see her confessionals. Maybe she's trying to play the middle. Maybe she's actually genuinely loyal to the guys at this point. Maybe she's just working with whoever will keep her safe. I don't know, but this is about Monty. Monty is in a fantastic spot, protected by Taylor, protected by Turner. Brittany wants to work with him. The only one he's not really having a hard connection with is Alyssa at this point. And
Yeah.
her influence is very minimal. So I'm feeling good about Monty here. I feel like this is possibly our winner.
Mm-hmm.
He's the second most desirable winner, in my opinion. I
Me
really
too.
wanted Taylor win. Who doesn't? But I'm starting to think that he's going to win this game. With that being said, I feel like I have to move him up.
Yeah, I think so. I think a B is perfect for Monty.
Absolutely.
We'll see what he does. I mean, the thing with Monty is that he is a little bit of a floater in the sense that, like, he's almost like Terrence in a way where you just don't know who he's telling the truth to and, like, what he actually wants to do because he gives a lot of lip service to Terrence and talks shit about Taylor, and then he wants to work with Taylor, and then he talks to Turner, and we get almost an identical story, but just, like, replace the names with from Taylor to Turner. It's just very, I think he's doing a good job at floating between everybody in the house and not making a huge target of himself. I mean, he's been a quote unquote target this whole time, even though he only won one competition and it was a crapshoot. But this one, I think, based on what we heard, this was like a really strange HOH competition. It was all in the dark. It was supposed to be a horror fest. Taylor had to quit because she had an anxiety attack because of some trauma that she had faced as a child with a classmate of hers getting murdered when they were 5. Pretty horrible stuff. And she was really shaken up last night when she got back into the house. So it really was Brittany and Alyssa against Monty. So if he didn't win, like that would have been pretty rough if you're not beating Brittany and Alyssa in a competition. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens with the veto tomorrow. We'll see what he does with the week. But I think, I think it's his or Taylor's to lose right now.
All right. So next is Turner. Turner's game is, honest to God, I think coming in this season, I feel like the expectations were super low because of all the extra BS that was going on Twitter. But I kind of felt like, and I said this during the draft, I just refused to vote to draft him. I was like, I feel like there's opportunity here for Turner to do well. And he's really been playing like this squirrely game, but like I feel like it works out where Turner's never really that player that like you look at him first as a threat. You know, like Turner's the type that he has not been afraid to take out big players and make big moves. He's not afraid to go against the green. He's not afraid to go in alliances. He's actually a very strategic player, if I'm being honest with you. And he's won his fair share of competitions. I'm actually really impressed by Turner's game.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm not sure if his jury like capital is very high. I
Yeah.
don't know if he has a lot of respect from the jury. Not that they dislike him. I just think that he's been very specific with who he speaks to. But I don't think anyone really sees him as like their best friend. He's just kind of like the guy in the room. So
Yep.
I don't know if Michael really votes Turner. I don't know if Terrence votes Turner. Don't know if Kyle votes Turner. I don't know. I don't think as right now anybody in the jury is voting Turner. So that's kind of worrisome. His best bet is like, against Brittany,
Yep.
maybe, but like
Yeah,
they're
I
not
think
really
so.
even working that close, you know. So it's like, ugh, I don't know what he needs to do. I don't know if his eyes are open. I don't know if he really wants to go to the end with Monty or not. But I'm a little worried. How do you feel about him?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think the thing with Turner is that he probably had the most impactful HOHs this season, but none of them were really his decision. Like, he just was a sponge and he just did whatever everybody else wanted him to do. I mean, he even said himself a couple of times, like, he felt like he was only in the leftovers because he was in the room. And, like, yeah, kind of. That is why. And they used you as a vehicle to take out Amira that week and flip the house and do all the work that kick off all the work that was done throughout the next couple of weeks. But I think even same with Kyle, like he taking out Kyle was a huge move, but he really had no choice but to take out Kyle, and he didn't even really want to do it. Like he was still trying to take out some either Taylor. He wanted to keep Taylor. He was thinking about putting Monty up as a pawn, as the replacement nominee, and then likely the target would have shifted to Monty if the whole Kyle thing didn't happen. And then even here, you could see he didn't want to take out Michael. He was terrified. So I think if they show that part of the double eviction to the jury, it's gonna really be Monty's move. That Monty's like, we got to do it. We have to take the shot. We have to do it. I'm using the veto. We have to do it. And Monty was firm, and Turner was like, are you sure, bro? Like, I really don't know. Like, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? And that's just kind of like Turner's game in a nutshell. It's like everybody tells him what to do and he kind of executes it, but he really has no say or opinion in what's going on. He just does what everybody else wants him to do. And I think that's really going to shine through in the jury, especially like with Kyle there and with Michael there, and whoever gets there after this is probably going to have a similar opinion. I don't know that Turner can win either. I think he definitely wins over Brittany, but anybody else, I don't think so. I don't even think he wins over Alyssa.
Not me neither. I think Alyssa actually has a lot more votes than him right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So not the best luck. But his game alone, I feel like still keeps him in C. I'm not gonna lie.
And his ability to win competitions.
Yeah, I agree.
He's
I
good.
feel I
3
trust
HOHs.
that if he's put in a position where he has to make a big move at the end and cut Amati, I think he would consider it.
I think if Alyssa was like, please, Turner, you have to do it, he'd be like, okay, yeah, fine. I think that's exactly all it needs to do is Alyssa to tell him to do it, and he'll do it.
I'm dead. All right, so Turner, you're staying in C. All right, so next person is Miss Taylor Hale. Taylor has been playing an interesting game. It's not the most strategic. It's not the most social. It's just her existing, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
And you know what? It's working. It's
it's
definitely working.
working.
Yeah, because she's been unapologetically herself. She hasn't really been like changing who she is. And it's interesting. Usually people who go in the house don't like you. Take that animosity. Oh my God. They take that to the jury house, and usually they're like, F this person. We're not voting them. I hate them. Done. I don't know what happened, but it seems like Indy and Jasmine are very high on
They
Taylor
love
now.
her.
Where did that come from?
I do not know.
Yeah. Joseph obviously is her number one cheerleader. I think Michael would vote her. I'm not gonna lie. I think Michael would consider voting her unless he
Mm-hmm.
wants to be like that type of player who's like, well, I tried to tell you if you voted me, this will be Monty's credit and da da da. So I don't know about him actually. But
Yeah.
Terrence, I don't think would vote Taylor unless someone convinces him. Kyle, not 100% sure where his vote will lie, but I'm feeling good about Taylor. I feel like right now she's the person to beat, and if she sits in the end, I don't know if anyone can beat her if you're not like Alyssa, or Alyssa's a maybe. I don't really think Alyssa beats
Yeah,
her.
I don't think so.
Monty and Taylor would be interesting, but I feel like Taylor would still have the edge.
I
Um,
think Taylor would have the edge over Monty too, actually.
yeah,
I think her jury management is better. I think the main person that obviously is not going to vote for her is Terrence because what was
Terrence.
that exit interview with Julie last night? Like, what is wrong with this man? I don't understand. But as someone who looks like Taylor must have rejected him a long time ago and he just like never let it go. Like,
I'm dead.
get it together. But I think she's, like I said a little earlier, I do think that she's kind of coming into her own now that the game is really thinning out and she realizes, like, okay, I was up on the block and Michael didn't take me down. He took Brittany down. Brittany's lying to me. And she gave Brittany a couple of chances last week to say, like, oh, did you talk to Turner or whatever? And Brittany, like, still lied to her. So she was ready to cut ties with Brittany, cut ties with Michael. She realized that she really needed to, like, work for herself. And I really think she's doing that. And I think the relationship that she's building with Monty has a crush on this lady, okay? There's no question about it. He likes her. He feels burned that she doesn't like him. And I really think that's why he's talking so much shit about her, honestly. And even last night when he was crying over his HOH letter, she was rubbing his back. They were having a nice hug last night, celebrating. All she has to do, and I'm not suggesting that she would do this, but like just cozy up next to Monty a little bit, just flirt with him a little bit, just turn it on a little bit, and he'll keep her safe. Keep and ride that to the end, and she'll be good. And I think she realizes like she's gonna have to do whatever she needs to do to get there. And I really do think like pageant women that compete in pageants are really good at giving speeches and speaking for themselves and selling themselves. And if she gets to the end, I think she'll really be able to take credit for this Michael move over Monty. And I think that she'll be able to talk through her game just across the board and get the votes that she needs to win if she makes it there. So as long as she can get through the next what is it, 3 evictions, I think she's got it in the bag. We just have to hope that the Taylor karma stays strong and she's able to just every week we're on the edge of our seats of what's going to happen to Taylor and she's made it through this far and I really have a good feeling. I just
Uh,
have a good feeling.
it feels like every week that she's supposed to go, someone just does something astronomically stupid and gets
Yes.
them voted out.
Yes.
So I don't really see outside of like Britney anyone doing anything too dumb right now. It's final five. She really needs to win some competitions. So
I know.
I'm very worried for her, and I feel like this could potentially. If you think Monty will put her up,
I don't think so. He said to her, I'm pretty sure late last night or very early this morning, whenever, that if she won veto and took Brittany down, he would have no option but to put Turner up and might be fine with him going home. So it's like he's willing to play ball here with her. So I
yeah.
don't think that he's going to put her up. It really doesn't seem like it, unless he's forced to, but I still don't. It depends. If she sits next to Alyssa, I'm worried. But if she's next to Brittany, she's
Yeah.
fine where she
Then
is.
at
So
this point, it's really dependent on the HOH next week.
yeah, well, veto
They were the
really.
veto
If
this week,
yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah.
I think just as long as she wins HOH or veto next week, we just have to get through Final Four. I think
She
she
needs
can
some
do it.
luck on her side. That's all she needs. She needs luck.
She really does.
Yeah.
She really does.
Listen, Rachel Riley, one of the luckiest Big Brother winners of all time. She
Yeah,
just
can we get
had
some of Rachel Riley's luck?
like, come on now. Only because of her winner stock, I'm considering putting her top of C.
I would even put her in a B. I think she's
Okay,
just
that's fair.
in just as good of a spot as Monty, if not almost better.
The only reason I feel like Monty's way more safe than Taylor.
I think so too, depending on who wins next week. It
Yeah.
really all hinges on next week. And like,
Yeah,
I just think Alyssa's relationship with Taylor is better than her relationship with Monty. So if
it
it comes
is.
down to like Alyssa as a deciding vote for some reason, I think that Taylor's in a better spot than Monty is. But I think
Are we
they're
putting her above Monty then?
Monty's at HOH this week. She could still go home. I think let's leave her where she is. But I
Okay.
think, yeah,
Yeah, hopefully she can win it out. I kind of agree with Josie. You said Taylor might have to win it out. I feel like we're entering that world as well. There's only one way to find out though. So, with that being said, we got two left. They're not
just
the most
flying
exciting
through.
players. Yeah, I mean, look,
No,
we have no other flops to
I
talk about.
know.
Like this season has been just complaining about people, and now the game is picking
I
up
know.
at
Everyone we
Final
hate is
Five.
gone.
So next we got Alyssa. Um, so straight up, I'm gonna say I'm considering raising Alyssa up to C.
Okay.
Here's why. I don't think anyone's going to waste their time with Alyssa. I'm going to be honest. I think she's guaranteed final three at this point. I don't see a scenario where Brittany, Turner, Taylor, or Monty want to cut her. And to be quite frank, there's a huge possibility, depending on who's in power, that she can honestly be the final two GOAT of the season. Um, Outside of like maybe Monty and that's it. I feel like Brittany. I mean, I feel like Alyssa definitely could be the final two go here. So I'm very interested. She hasn't really won anything, so I'm not really feeling too good about her gaining any votes outside of like what Kyle, maybe Terrence. I don't really
I think
know.
Terrence votes for her.
Yeah, and then depending on who she sits next to, maybe Jasmine and Indy. Like if she sits next to Brittany, or maybe even Turner, I can see her beating them just because of who she is.
I think she beats both
Um,
Brittany and Turner,
yeah, like
which
I
is
think
crazy.
she has the third highest winning stock right now for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
fine moving into a C. I think I totally agree with you. Just because she hasn't won anything, I think I don't see a scenario where she's not at the end unless like someone cuts her at final three. But who's doing that? Turner's taking her to the end. Monty might take her to the end unless like him and Taylor really grow their relationship or something and he feels loyalty to her and takes her. Alyssa would probably take her. I'm sorry, Taylor would probably take her, or maybe she would take Brittany if Brittany's still in the house, but I don't think Brittany will still be in the house. I think the only person that she loses, well, she loses against Monty and Taylor, but I do think she beats Turner and Brittany for sure.
I
I
agree.
think she has the jury on lock at that point.
And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna have to put her over Turner at this
I'm
point.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
All right.
Do you think she's gonna
There.
win anything, or do you
No.
think she's gonna go compless the whole
I
time?
think she's gonna be complex. I
She could be
really
the
feel
second compless winner of Big Brother.
she's interesting because I like she's a final two GOAT, but she's a final two GOAT that can win. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like it's been a while since we've had one of those, you know? But here we are.
I do want to give a quick PSA. I see people with this discourse of like everybody was praising Dr. Will when he did it, but everybody's dragging Brittany. Yeah, because Dr. Will played the game and this girl's sitting on her ass. So let's not compare the two. Dr. Will's
You
game, and I
can
also see comments saying like, well, there were less comps. I don't care. He got to Final Four in All Stars as well, playing off the wall. So like, let's not even put these two in the same sentence.
there's three factors to Big Brother: social, strategy, and then comps.
Yep.
I think a lot of people are addicted to this concept of competitions in recent Big
Michael is one
Brother.
of them.
This is not
And
the
look what happened.
challenge.
It's
You know what
not
I'm
the
saying?
challenge.
Yeah. Although I would love to see Michael on the challenge. I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be
It
interesting.
would
I
be
wonder how he
fun.
would do.
Yeah. I would like to see him on the challenge. Get on that CBS. Um, but yeah, let's he's lastly, Brittany, what are you gonna say here? Like I'm gonna drop her to F. I'm gonna be honest. I
Please,
don't even need your
please.
permission. I
No,
think
please do
Brittany
it.
is playing a horrible game. She's for weeks been seen as like you're not getting any votes. The only person that was like maybe is like maybe Taylor, obviously if she's in that scenario, and then like maybe Michael, but I don't even think Michael's going to vote her at this point. Like that speech was wild, and I don't think Michael even has any respect for her game. We've been seeing during that last week. He got very annoyed with Brittany on multiple
He couldn't even
occasions.
hide it anymore.
Yeah, like I don't think Brittany can get more than one vote, and I think that one vote would be from Taylor, unless like only if it was like a next to like Turner at this point, you know. Um,
I could even
I
see Taylor voting for Turner over Brittany. I mean, anything could happen. I just don't know who's voting for her.
yeah, yeah, she's down bad for sure, and you want to know what's even down bad? The fact that I feel like the house understands that she has no chance of winning the game, and they still want to take her out. Like
Yeah, it's really bad.
like your social game is that bad that people know that. Like Big D was like this. People know they can beat you, and they still won't want to take you to the end because they don't want you getting the second place money. Like that is crazy. Like Brittany's not that bad of a person, which is crazy. Like she's just really annoying, and that's. I'm not even trying to be rude. I just think that she doesn't have any social awareness or like know how to read a room. It's just like it's just something about her.
I'll be rude. She's a fucking disaster. She's a disaster. She cries all the time. She spirals out of control. She weaves all of these webs that she just can't undo. And then there's only like 6 people left in the house. Do you not think that this is gonna come back to bite you. Everybody is all talking to each other. Like, I just don't understand what you're trying to do here. And last night when she was on the block, just her reactions were just like, honestly, comical, and they were just hilarious to me. And I can't, she's an instant feed killer for me. I can't even listen to her on the feeds anymore. I don't blame these people for being like, I can't just like get out of the house. I like can't do it. I just yeah, she's got to go. I mean, you're right. It's really saying something when she's an easy beat. Like, clearly she's going to lose, and people still are like, you know what, we just got to get rid of her now. Like, I don't even want to take her to final two. She's just got to go. And I mean, even the fact, even Big Brother production, her comic was so shady. And then that clip of Terrence figuring it out, and then them like coming to a realization, and even Big Brother confirms it and goes zing on the feeds. Like, does production hate her too? Like, I don't understand what's going on here. It's crazy. But yeah, she's done. If she somehow wins the veto this week, she'll be out next week. Easy boot.
For sure. And by the way, for anyone watching the YouTube, I apologize. There's like a fly flying in my face right now. You like won't leave me alone. I'm getting so annoyed. But yeah, Brittany's down bad for sure. She's a nice girl, but like just like she's unbearable for some of these people. So
her energy, even just like through the screen,
yeah,
stresses me out. Like, she's always rocking back and forth. She's always doing something. I'm like, please just sit down. Like, just stop for a second. Like, I can't even watch her.
for sure. Well, there you go. Monty is now for the second week king of the tier list. We have not had anyone go over A. The only person to hit A was Michael.
I think we
Obviously,
had Kyle up there too for a minute.
yeah, we did have Kyle up there.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
You and Lance, you fought for him.
It was a good. It was at the time. It was great.
At the time.
It was great.
At the time.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? Okay, Katie. Look, this is a short pod, but like, there's not. This is the boring part of the Big Brother season, because as much as the circumstances are interesting, it's going to come down to the competitions at this point. We all know Monty and Turner are close. We know Monty and Taylor are close. We know who's close and who's not. Yep. And at this point, like, what are you going to do? Unless like we're going to have like some rare Jackson Mickey moment where he eavesdrops on the door and then like everything blows up. I'm not really going to be watching.
And that happened at Final Five, right? So it could be.
Yeah.
It could happen.
I don't think feeds are going to be as fun as it is right now. There's not going to be a lot going on, but you know what? We'll try.
We thought that last week with the Terrence and Alyssa noms, and it was like up until the end of the week, we didn't really know what was happening, and things were shifting and changing, and the landscape of the house was changing. So there was a lot of craziness last week. Before we go, the one thing I want to do is just give Joseph a shout out, because he is the jury king. He's the best. He really is a gift. I'm so glad that he made it on the show and that we got the alternate. When Kyle came into the house and he was like, oh, whatever, rooting for Taylor. I hope Taylor did it. And then sitting down, watching Kyle lose the comp and cheering for him while Kyle's sitting right there was just like the ultimate moment that I think we all needed. And Kyle's just like, I'm right here. And Joseph is like, me too. Like, I loved every second of it. Like, we just need more jury just for more Joseph.
Yes, we do. And oh my God, I'm so annoyed. I think this fly just got into my nose. Anyway.
Oh my God.
It was trying. Anyway, we're good. This jury segment, real quick. How do you think this jury is going to match up to some of the better jury segments in Big Brother history?
Oh, I think it's going to be good. With Michael in there, I think it's going to be good. With Joseph, with Jasmine, indeed, none of them were biting their tongues last night. I feel like they gave Kyle more heat than anybody in the house did. Like, they gave him what we wanted to see when we found out. Well, we knew, but when the house found out about his racism, like, Joseph was like, so you made me, the minority Middle Eastern kid sitting outside, like the scapegoat for, and I was just like, yeah, tell him. He needs to hear this. Jasmine too. I mean, and Jasmine, what she said about, if you could tell me that someone was talking bad about me, but I'm looking at you because they feel comfortable enough to say it in front of you. And I was like, you know what?
A mess.
Jasmine low key coming through. Like, I mean, she's absolutely right. Here. No, we're not Jasmine stands, but a broken clock is right twice a day. And she was right.
Well, to be fair, it is just a TV. I do think they're going to be friends. Like her and whoever else is beefing on the show. The only people I see being weirdos outside the show are the people who are already out. Paloma, Daniel, and all those mother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone else seems fine. Oh, and
Kyle, we'll add Terrence to that group because That is one quick thing I do want to mention is that Terrence really said with his whole chest last night, I was loyal to Daniel and Nicole. This is for Daniel. I'm pulling a Daniel. Like, you're really riding for Daniel this hard. This guy was a fucking loser. Like, he was a loser. And Terrence is a loser too. So, birds of a feather, I guess.
You think Terrence is going to wear Daniel's merch?
Yeah, for sure.
The bunch of clowns
For
T-shirt that
sure. Yeah.
he put on Instagram.
Bozo or whatever. Yeah. I'm with Bozo or whatever the stupid shirts are. Yeah, for sure.
I'm dead.
For sure.
All right, here you go. But there you go. There is our recap of this week. Yes, it's a little short, but I mean, come on now, it's 40 minutes. Is 40 minutes really short? Not really.
No.
Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, like usual, please follow us on Silent Podcast on our social medias, our Twitters, our YouTubes, our Twitches, our Spotify's, all our streaming platforms. You can always listen back, and there's also plenty of other shows that you can go check out. We got plenty of content on here, so every little bit helps. Leave a 5-star review, and if it's not 5 stars, don't leave it at all because we don't want it. And then lastly, check out Katie's new coverage on House of Dragons. I'm definitely stealing her spotlight for her plugs, but I'm enjoying that podcast. So
you're listening. You thank you.
But Katie, you have anything you want to plug?
Sure. Doing a bunch of stuff. So you can find me on Twitter at RealSlimKatie. You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSlimKatie with an underscore at the end. A lot of the TV shows that we're all watching ferociously are ending soon, so I'll be on there a little bit more than I have been in the last couple of weeks. So you could drop a follow if you would like. You can also hear me, as Isaiah said, all over the place in Silent Podcasts. Fire and Pod is a new House of the Dragon podcast that Isaiah so kindly shouted out with Chanel and Josh Kettles. Josh has been unable to join us the last couple of weeks, but we did have Javier stand in for us, who's also been amazing. So check that out. You can find Carrie and I closing up on TJ Hates Quitters for the Challenge USA. This week coming up is the finale. And then I think we're going to cover the Challenge documentary that for some reason has Kim Kardashian in it. I have no idea why. So we'll talk about that. Then we also are covering, as usual, all things going on in the Real Housewives universe, which there's a lot happening. So check out the Cool Water Show and we'll break all of that down for you guys as well.
All right. And like usual, well, first of all, before even like usual, we're about to hit that moment in the year where Big Brother's over, Challenge is over. But you know what? Check out Gia Worthy's I Don't Know About That podcast. Definitely got featured in a couple blogs. It was pretty dope. Gia's doing a great job, so make sure to check out her Survivor coverage for Survivor 43. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying 43, but here we are. You can
Amazing
also check
Race
out
is coming back too.
Sasha will be back with that. We have plenty of other shows coming out and already existing, so make sure you guys keep up with all that. But like usual, you can follow me at 8Ball Bangers on all social platforms. My God, I'm stuttering so much today. But you can find me on all social platforms under 8Ball Bangers. You can find me on Survivor Philadelphia. I'm in the final, I want to say 8 right now, so that's fun to watch.
I've been seeing so many good tweets and feedback about. I'm going to binge it.
You should.
Everybody's talking about it. I'm like, damn, okay, I'm really missing out.
Yeah, you are. Listen, I've been telling you.
Oh,
Also, over here on Silent Podcast, check out the Isaiah and Nicole show. That's a fun podcast, and we got a lot of tweets this week, so we're going to do that a lot more frequently. So that should be fun. And by the time this comes out, on audio platforms, check out my Pod Friends interview with Matt Scott. That was a fun time as well.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. But until next week, where we will be talking about the Final Four, maybe me and Katie can break down games. We'll figure that all out. But
that'll be fun.
Yeah. All right. Until then, we'll see you. Have a good one. Bye.